It is time. Yes, I waited for the music to loop so I could do this intro. But it is time for Kohaku's route to save one last girl before we retire this visual novel. We've come a long way from Ciel to Arcui to Akiya to Hisui, seeing so many different truths come to light and just knowledge of the world, of vampires, of the Tono family, of Shiki himself, of everything. Just most of all the characters, and it's been a great time. It's been absolutely horrifying, very disturbing, especially towards the end of Hisui's route there. The last part, I just still don't know what to say. But it's been an experience, like, and one I definitely don't regret, man. This has been fucking awesome, and I just want to take that opportunity to say this as well. Thank y'all so much. To y'all on Patreon who watched, to y'all on YouTube who watched, like to y'all who commented on from Patreon on the last part. I'm sure there's gonna be more comments from y'all on YouTube when the last part of Hisui's route, when that goes public. So I just want to thank y'all and thank y'all in advance. But you know, Julius, Stray, Midday Moon, see what you did there with your name now. Santa, Matthew, and everyone else who's commented before, thank y'all so much. I really fucking appreciate it. It's that y'all are so accommodating to my experience. Like, y'all don't tell me too much. You either clarify things I ask you, or just clarify things I misunderstand. And you know, it really enhances my experience, and I just really want to thank y'all so much. God damn, this intro's about to be a mess, because we are about to recap everything, but I think I got this, man, because I'm so fucking ready. The end of Hisui's route. First of all, Hisui's route, I realized, not till after the fact, when I edited the video and put it together, and I saw the part number, like, this ended 7 parts deep. Granted, I could have split that last part into, like, 2 parts, which, I think is, like, how I've done it before, or how I would usually do it, but still, there would have been only 8. I don't think Akiya's was much longer. I mean, it all depends on how long I make the parts, but it is actually a shorter route, I was told. Along with Kohaku's, like, they're fairly short. I do remember being told some time back that these routes were kind of, you know, how do I say this? Written after the fact. I think, you know, the creation of, like, Kohaku and Hisui as characters were by Takeuchi, if I'm not mistaken, and like, he really urged Nasu to include these made characters, and Nasu had to, like, write them in and weave them within the story. Even so, I quite enjoyed Hisui's route. I mean, when it comes to, like, Hisui herself, I've always loved how sweet, or just the underlying sweetness she's expressed with Shiki, even underneath her demeanor, which of course we know quite a bit about now, regarding her own relationship with Kohaku and all that whole thing. But then, like, you have that, you know, which was nice and sweet, and it, you know, it sustained Shiki, and it was good. And then, but then you couple that with all the things with Kohaku, and it's just, it has me so ready for this route. Like, it's, oh my god, like, truly, like, their experience together, and, you know, related to Shiki, and now going into this, it's, whew, this is about to be a doozy, man, because we learned so many horrific things. Like, okay, let's start to unpack this, and after I do this, I want to, like, address the cool things you guys told me in the comments, like answering things that I asked, or other, like, for example, like, Roa Shiki's immortality and fusion versus, like, Roa's immortality, and, like, the difference between those, and was one influenced by the other, and what exactly does that mean? Appreciate those answers, but first, let's get into what we're going into with this. So, Kohaku. We learned the awful shit, to say the least, just the absolutely abhorrent shit she went through, which I still do not know the proper way to react to. I don't know if there even is, but we learned that, and her very justifiable approach once she got free, like, orchestrating all these things, you know. First of all, completely disassociating herself from as a human, just looking at herself as a doll, to her only escape from that just that hell she was trapped in, taking that bullet for her sister to be the only one, and you know, Hisui's guilt over that, and the way she tried to live her life, and how that leads into the true end of Hisui route. First of all, that true end was fucking incredible, dude. Absolutely, like, as far as like route endings, even one where Akiya dies and Kohaku dies, like, that might be my favorite ending in the game. Like, I have to think hard about it, but that was just so, oh my god. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, but okay, so we learned that after that, you know, she set up a situation where Akiya found her, and thus Akiya, you know, prevented all that from going on, you know, like, she just put a stop to that, and Kohaku was more free, and we'll get into that later, how that ties into her feelings over Akiya, you know, dying, and like, versus because we saw the difference when that in the true end, but also like in the good end as well, whenever she protected Akiya. So you have that. She starts fucking with Roashiki, because for, oh my god, there's so many fucked up things going on. But she set up a situation where she used her medicinal knowledge to drug Roashiki and influence him while he was unconscious to go out and hurt innocent people. That was her, and we see like how he was going out looking for Akiya and stuff. Oh my god. So influencing him, you know, Roashiki already fall into his tonal blood, into, you know, Roa reincarnating in his soul. Like, that guy was just fucked from the beginning. Like, his life was completely stolen from him. He's done some awful, horrible shit, but goddamn, you can't help but pity him. So she does that, she pretty much orchestrates a situation where she can have all the Tono family members die. Like, she knows, like, our Shiki isn't a part of that. And, you know, that tied into her personal feelings regarding how she feels about Shiki. That's a whole other thing, like how he looks at her in the window, and how that, like, after her, like, just trying to turn off, like, her senses of, like, you know, just looking at herself as a doll and disassociating from the pain, like him looking at her, reminding her of that despair, but also giving her some hope. Like, I mean, you look back, like, at the scene where she's pretending to be Hisui, and just that whole confession, like that made me who I am, just, ooh. Oh my god. And then it's pretty much setting it up for all of them to die in the end. Oh, by the way, just to preemptive comment Santa, you pointing out, dude, in Akiya's route, as far as who cut the power in the mansion and knocked out Hisui and Kohaku, you know, when Roashiki had Akiya on the floor and he was just free to do, like, and we were wondering, like, what the fuck, why didn't Kohaku and Hisui do anything? Oh wait, they were unconscious? Huh, okay, alright, guess that's not gonna explain. Kohaku did that shit, that was part of her plan. She tried to set that up for it to happen there. Crazy, absolutely crazy. I love how that tied in. Thank you for telling me that. Wow, okay, anyway, I keep getting sidetracked because this is so cool. Okay, I knew this intro was going to be a mess, but we're going to get there. Alright, so she does that, and it happens, but, you know what happens in the true ending? Akiya dies, Roashiki dies, and then when she kills herself, like, saying she has no reason to go on, like a doll needs a reason to move, like it's not going to move itself, and that was it. But in the end, like, as she's dying, realizing, or just admitting rather, that it was an illusion, that she wasn't like a doll after all. Really fucking sad, because of course that's the persona she had to push to the front to keep the pain away, just to escape the hell. But we know, like Shiki says, there's a human being underneath that who is hurting so fucking badly. We're gonna fucking save her, dude, or do our darndest. I know there's one ending to this route, as we've said a few times before. I have no idea what the implications of that are, other than that there is apparently no other way for this story to end. But yeah, let's get into some of the comments y'all left, because it is pretty cool stuff. So as far as Roashiki's immortality and fusion, that's completely his, from his tonal blood. Really cool stuff, you know, the immortality referring to being able to take massive damage. Like, you can still die, but you can take a hell of a lot of damage, manipulating his body parts, you know, to reshape the remainder when he takes the damage. Like his body can take a whole lot of punishment, like we saw he was stabbing himself in the head during the whole, like, when Shiki was in his head, and we saw how he was going crazy because of it, like stabbing himself, and Shiki was feeling that pain. Yeah, crazy. And the fusion power is how he can like steal life force, pretty much, and attach his body back together, or even parts from other people, apparently. And immortality also, in being able to reshape his body, like what allowed him to crystallize his blood, like back in the Akiya route. Really cool stuff. Like, oh my god, such cool abilities. And apparently, you know, all this stuff is from a data book, you know, because Nasu doesn't go out of his way to explain this stuff here in this route, or in this game, so I really appreciate you letting me know, Stray. You also reminded me at the Fujio family from Kata no Kyokai. Totally forgot. Again, it's been so long since I've seen those movies. Very due for a rewatch. But, yeah, Fujio Kiria. I remember Kiria, the ghost girl from the hospital. So yeah, apparently Hisui and Kohaku are related to the Fujio family. Crazy, they're like a branch family, so it'd be like Fujio Kohaku and Fujio Hisui. Absolutely insane. And apparently the Nanayas are not mentioned in the Kata no Kyokai movies. Thank you for telling me about that. It was cool to see them mention I think they said the demon hunter families. They're mentioning the Ryogi and Asagami and Fujio as well. There you go. Among the Nanaya, you know, they're a part of that as well. That Kohaku's more like Fujino than Sakura. And oh, this is a cool thing. So I was it was interesting how Shiki was saying how how he looked at Shiki at the end of the route, and he was like, man, you look nothing like what I've heard. Like, he didn't even know he was fighting Shiki. But because yeah, when he says you twice to Tonoshiki, like I kind of pointed out before, because to him, like, he knows like Shiki was like looking at him in his head, but the person in front of him that he was fighting, he didn't really know about. And granted, like how he was saying like nothing how you described him, like you look nothing how you were described, it's as if Kohaku purposely gave him a wrong description, like almost like trying to keep Shiki safe, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's, oh damn, that's a really cool fucking thing. So thank you for telling me that. Midday Moon explaining his name, that was so cool that you named yourself after that. And until the Far Side gets a proper anime adaptation, dude, oh man, I hope so. But yeah, we're gonna save Kohaku, man. Let's see. Hisui talking about the difference between Hisui and Kohaku's eyes, how they don't really show, because when Kohaku is impersonating Hisui, he's obviously probably using something like contacts, and when they flash back to the window scene, it's, you know, in black and white or like sepia, so you can't really tell the color there, so that's how they kind of do that. And also how kind of like, I think Stray mentioned this too, as well as Santa, that apparently like Hisui and Kohaku gallery modes were combined into one. So until you like finish Hisui route, you don't see the separation there. I think is what is said there. Like, apparently back in the day, you could easily miss the fact that they were like a separate thing. Because yeah, originally, I do remember when I first started the game and I was looking at graphic mode, it was the same, and I was like, huh, interesting. I know, because I knew there were separate routes, but I was like, what's going on there? Yeah, not registered. Will be very soon. So, as is tradition, we're gonna watch the opening, read it together. Again, we pretty much fully understand this at this point. Makihisa coming to kill the Nanaya family and taking Shiki. So, by the way, oh my god, last thing, the reason Makihisa took Shiki, they straight up kind of mentioned it in the last route, but they didn't really expand it. But it was as if, because like they were talking about the different demon hunter families and like how Nanaya was one of them, obviously a very powerful family, that he wanted Shiki specifically to like defeat something, or like, and I was like, huh? What? Yo, we didn't, and then that was it, and then that was all there was to that. So yeah, I'm curious if we're gonna learn anything about that in this route. But yeah, it's gonna be whatever this route's gonna be, man. It's gonna be a hell of a doozy, man, between Shiki having to relearn all these things, and you know, it lead up to getting close to Kohaku and saving her in some way, whatever that salvation looks like for her at the end of this. I have no idea. And also, Matt, I agree with what you said, like as far as like the reason just Kohaku's feels a lot like because I made the comparison to Sakura last time as far as like horrible things happening to this heroine character that kind of come to light, that it's, you nailed it. It's like more, it feels more realistic. It's more visceral. The way that she's so nonchalant about it, like the way she talked about everything at the tree, just the whole situation itself is just so viscerally, it feels just too real that I was like feeling sick over it. It was just, yeah, easily the darkest stuff that I've ever experienced in a Type Moon work, just let alone in any gaming media, like ever, like absolutely. But anyway, and last thing, sorry I had to take a break there, but last thing before we begin, there's a couple things, like, because as far as like Shiki navigating this route now, this is where we're at now. Kohaku said a couple important things. First off, if Shiki can tell, like, she straight up said, if Shiki could tell that I'm swapped with Hisui, or that we swap, I will drop the whole plan. She straight up said that. Also, the ribbon, it's Kohaku's. Like, we know, like, the day he left, she's the one who brought it to him. Like, after all that time, her being cooped up in the room and Shiki looking up at her and her finally doing that, and the promise to bring it back to her one day. We gotta bring it back to her, dude. And we think back in Hisui when Hisui had no idea what the hell Shiki was talking about. Like, I don't remember, but okay, and then, you know, keeping it. But also, like, Hisui knowing it was her sisters. Yeah, I guess, you know, I do remember when we were going through back trying to get the good ending in the last part. You know, the choices in the very beginning about asking about the girl in the window and just various Kohaku choices, you know, that we know now, but of course will now lead Shiki down to getting closer to her and hopefully seeing, you know, whatever the salvation is for Kohaku in this route, which I hope is, she deserves something good, man. It's just, oh man, the way it ended and everything, like her convincing herself she was a doll, and the sad admittance that she's not, of course. Like, even like regarding how she feels about Akiya, and you see the difference like in the endings of like she admitting like being surprised that Akiya, you know, sacrificed herself for her, and the good ending how she saves Akiya. Like knowing what Akiya did for Kohaku back, you know, saving her from Makihisa, and you know, in that moment, despite her plan, is just, and her feelings for Shiki, of course, like all that. We're gonna do it, man. We're gonna do this shit. We're gonna fucking save her, dude. So I think that's everything. I think it's probably more to talk about, but that's it. I think this is like a 20-minute intro, maybe even more, but we'll see, dude. Either way, as is tradition, let us watch this opening for the last time. Suddenly, I awaken with a start. The night is pitch black, and no one else is in the house. It's scary being alone in the dark. So to find everyone, I head out into the garden. Oh, poor little Shiki. Our mansion's gardens are vast fields of green, surrounded by a thick, dense forest, with the trees blanketing out the light, almost like a massive curtain. Like a stage in a theater somewhere. The curtain of trees opens with a swishing sound. Excitement fills me, anticipating the beginning of the grand play. In the distance, I hear the sound of echoes beyond the black curtain of trees. Inside the forest, the sounds of everyone happily playing around. The curtain doesn't open yet. Unable to restrain myself, I wander into the darkness of the forest. Darkness surrounds me, a blackness so deep it's suffocating. Not even the calming rays of the moonlight can reach this deep. The air is cold, a winter's chill so deep, my eyes feel like they'll freeze. For a brief moment I thought I heard someone call my name, so I walk even deeper into the forest. After passing through the veil of trees, I find everyone waiting for me in the forest clearing. But something is wrong. Everyone is lying on the ground. Everyone is lying on the ground in pieces. The clearing is bathed in red. I I don't understand. The stranger approaches. The look on his face says he wants to rip me apart. Don't understand at all. But someone else, someone I don't know, steps in front of me. Is torn apart in my place. I'm just a kid, so I really don't understand. A splash. Something warm and wet hits my face. It's red. A red liquid, red like a tomato. The person that was torn apart, that person I called Mom, never called my name again. I really don't understand. But it is just so cruel. I wanted to cry, I just felt like crying. Warm crimson blurs my vision, seeping into my eyes. But it doesn't bother me at all. The lonely moon floats above me, bearing witness in the night sky, seeping into my eyes. It's strange. Why didn't I realize until now? Such a cold, horrible nightmare. Yes, I didn't realize it. That tonight, the moon is so beautiful. And there we go. You know, I think we know pretty much. Here's the thing. I mean, the Makihisa taking him thing is still a little bit of a mystery. It's too soon to overthink. We haven't started the damn route yet. So I'm gonna do the thing now. I'm gonna go through, and I'll cut back in the video to either the relevant part or, you know, things I want to comment on as I do sometimes. But it'll probably be around when Shiki is walking back and I have the choice, you know, asking about the girl in the window, which I assume is the Kohaku choice. I'll actually pull that up right now to make sure. But yeah, see you there. Okay, it's been a few routes. I feel like since I've talked about this scene, and I've mentioned this before, but I just really appreciate how, like, the perfect chaos of, you know, like how Aoko herself says, like, well, it must be fate that I met you here, and like, you know, because you're here and I met you because I need to give you these glasses. And but, you know, and also just instilling in him just the seriousness of his power, because, you know, Shiki's a kid here, and, you know, like, look, Sensei, what I can do, like, using his mystic eyes of death perception, cutting the tree, like, isn't that amazing? And her, like, reprimanding him, but just to instill in him that is not something he should take lightly, you know, so that one day he doesn't take the lives of people lightly, using such a power to, you know, to see death as such a crazy thing. But at the same time, in instilling that seriousness, you know, telling him that as long as you remain as you are, remain the kind and honest person you are, you won't do wrong by your eyes. Like, take your power seriously, but at the same time, it is yours to use as you see fit. Like, it's your choice, but at the same time, we're not given these gifts for no reason. Like, your ability is terribly unique. Like, I'm sure there'll come a day where you'll need it. And even that Aoko herself, like, is from a whole nother visual novel Nasu wrote, and is a sorceress, and just in the perfect chaos was able to instill this in Shiki, you know, before all the, like, years before all the shit goes down. Really, really cool stuff, man. I really like it. It's such a cool intro to all of this. But yeah, that's it. Let's keep going. Oh boy, this again. It's knowing, like, that what happens with her, it seems to be just the constant in the far side, like Nero Chaos is in the near side. It's just, why Nasu? Why no Yumizuka route? Come on, man. Like in Hisui's, it was over in a flash. It was just done. Like Shiki didn't even see Arcuid. It just done. So I don't know if it's gonna be the same now in Kohaku's, probably, because I imagine it's kind of, it may set up in a similar way, but I have no idea, because again, doing the Kohaku choices, which would be very, very sad. But yeah, I just wanted to take a breather here and be like, well, this is gonna be awful again. All right, it's time for this. No save needed. The girl by the window. Oh my, all the scenes with Hisui and Kohaku now are just gonna fuck me up, man. It's just knowing everything regarding them now, like Kohaku's feelings and her planning and everything that's happened to her, and regarding Hisui and the guilt she felt over, like, Kohaku, you know, biting the bullet, like, just being like how she felt she had to stay clean because of what Kohaku did for her, and her feelings towards Shiki and the guilt she felt over that after, you know, getting with Shiki in her own route, and how she resolves in the true end to, like, in honor of her sister, and how she felt like to keep going. Like, it's just, oh my god. And now we're getting all this with Kohaku, like knowing like what she's trying to orchestrate and what she's gone through, like very understandably, and hopefully we can just get her to drop all the shit, man. But we gotta guide Shiki there and see how it gets there, man. Yo, okay. Gonna return that ribbon to the right one this time. Akiya isn't the only person I haven't seen since then. I can't remember all the details because it's been 8 years, but there were other children at the mansion around the same age as me. I don't remember their names, but there were 2 girls who were twins. The old man once said that they didn't have any relatives, so he took them to work as servants. That's weird. Played together so often when we were small, but I can't remember their names. Close my eyes and cast my mind back. Oh, there's Hisui. I should be able to remember. She was a girl who was always cheerful, so cheerful that you would become cheerful just by looking at her. A girl with a carefree personality who was loved by everyone at the mansion. Because she was close to my age, I got along very well with her, and it seemed like every day we would run around the garden together. Let's play together, Shiki-chan. She would say, and I could remember her taking me out of my room after I secluded myself inside. She would often laugh and take shy Akiya's hand, trying to make her play with us. Maybe she was older than the both of us. She would guide me and Akiya to play together, but once we started playing, she would just watch over us. Even Akiya's tutor, the harsh butler, would say, I don't mind as long as Burp is with you guys, and let Akiya out to play. But I'm much more concerned about the other girl. Here we go. I don't know what kind of girl she was or why she was always like that. From the second floor, there was always a girl looking down at us every time I turned to look at the mansion while we were playing in the garden. She was the twin of that cheerful girl, but she would always gaze at us expressionlessly. That girl would never try to leave the house. All she would do was watch us with those cold eyes. Is it because it bothered me so much that I thought she seemed so lonely? Most of the memories I have about the Tono mansion are only about her. Well, in the end, I only ended up talking a little with her. Wonder if those girls are still at the mansion. Yeah, alright, let's go, buddy. While I think about that, I take a white ribbon out of my bag. There it is. An old white ribbon that the girls gave me at the very end. 8 years ago. Oh, that tree does not look the same now. After I was involved in the accident, the day I was entrusted to the Arima family. Right before I was to leave the mansion, the girl gave me this for some reason. Just lending it to you, so be sure to return it. Saying something along those lines, she ran off. A promise made under a large tree. The weather was beautiful that day. Looking up, there was a high blue sky I could just lose myself in. It was my last memory of when I left the Tono mansion 8 years ago. I put the ribbon back in my bag. But it's been 8 years after all. Not only do I not know if they are still at the mansion, I can't even remember their names. Even so, this ribbon is precious to me. The time when my father had disinherited me. Rather than being saddened over having been discarded by him, I felt a warmness inside when I thought she was waiting for me to return the ribbon. That's why I want to keep the promise, as long as I still remember it. I agreed to return to the mansion because Akiya is now there all by herself. I left her there for 8 years, pushing all responsibility onto her, while I selfishly lived freely. But there is something else. Yes. I really think I decided to return because of that promise. Oh my god. Let's fucking go, dude. The white ribbon. Because of that promise made to the only one who said she would be waiting for me. I'm so hyped. Don't skip. It's huge. Words escaped my mouth when I reached the gate. For someone like me used to living in a normal house, the Tono mansion seems well out of reality. I wonder if I rushed into this. No, it's too late to start regretting things now. The gates aren't locked. I push them open and head towards the mansion doors. They tower oppressively, bearing down on any visitors. Beside the iron double doors is an unmatching doorbell. Alright. Shaking off my nervousness, I press it. There isn't any affectionate ding-dong chime from the doorbell. The oppressive silence continues for a few seconds. Then, the sound of pattering footsteps behind the door indicates someone's presence. We have been waiting for you. The door opens with a creak. Inside is the lobby I remembered and a young girl in an apron. The girl of the hour. Thank goodness. You're so late, I was beginning to worry that you had gotten lost. I was thinking about going out to meet you if you hadn't arrived by sunset. The girl in the anachronistic apron smiles warmly. No, that's, I am so taken aback by her outdated mode of dress that I can't even form a proper sentence. Perhaps attributing my hesitance to distrust, the girl tilts her head a little. You're Shiki-sama, aren't you? Yeah, but you don't have to call me Sama. You are, right? Oh, please don't scare me like that. I was beginning to think I had made another mistake back there. Don't even worry about it. She gives a good-natured laugh. I have no basis for this, but she fits the image perfectly. You thought. I thought. Could it be that you're the girl who played together with us when we were small? I inquire tentatively. She gives a full smile, looking truly happy. Uh-huh. Come, you must be tired, right? Please do come in. Akiya-sama is waiting for you in the sitting room. Again, still the worst part. The fact that she just smiles through all of it. Even going through the absolute hell, just... The girl quickly crosses the lobby and heads towards the sitting room. Turning back as if she just remembered something, she makes a bow, a full smile on her face. Welcome home, Shiki-sama. Her greeting is accompanied by her flower-like smile. I can't think of any reply, so I just follow her hesitantly. Guided by the girl, I head to the sitting room. It's as if I'm seeing it for the first time. I don't know if I've forgotten about it in the last 8 years or if they had it refurbished since then. Either way, it feels like someone else's house now and it's unsettling. As I'm looking around the sitting room, the maid in the apron lowers her head in a quick bow. I brought Shiki-sama with me. Well done. You may return to the kitchen, Kohaku. Thank you. It seems that maid's name is Kohaku. You better learn. Kohaku-san gives a small bow as if to say farewell and leaves the sitting room. This leaves me and 2 girls I don't recognize. Yes, it has. It has been a long time, Nissan, says the girl with the long black hair and sharp eyes. All my thought processes stop at once. My mind goes blank and I can't think of any words of greeting. All I can do is nod with a, yeah. I don't think it can be helped. This Akiya that I had not seen in 8 years is not the Akiya I remember. She's completely transformed into a proper young lady of a noble family. Nissan? The black-haired girl tilts her head slightly. Pathetically, all I can say are dumb-sounding things. My mind is turning in somersaults as I try to recognize the girl before me as Akiya, but it seems like Akiya already recognizes me as her brother. You do not look well. Would you like to rest before we talk? Akiya throws a sharp glance in my direction. Is it just my imagination that she looks like she's in a bad mood? No, it's just a tsundere. No, I'm alright. I was just surprised at how much you've changed, Akiya. People do change over the course of 8 years, Nissan. We are at an age of change, or did you think we'd remain like back then forever? What is this? I can feel the thorns in Akiya's words. Oh, you've definitely changed, Akiya. You've become more beautiful than before. It isn't flattery. It's how I really feel. And indeed, but you, on the other hand, have not changed much at all. Akiya answers coldly, her eyes closed. Well, I came prepared for something like this. It is as I had thought. It seems Akiya does not think well of me. If you are feeling well, let us finish our conversation. You have yet to hear the details about why you were called back here, Nissan. I've heard nothing more than a sudden come back to the mansion, though I found out in the papers the old man passed away. Haha, rotten hell, bitch. If the head of a major company dies, it definitely makes it in the financial papers. Word of Tonomaki Hisa's death reached his son, Tonoshiki, via the newspaper after the funeral. Even though his relatives hadn't told him, this disinherited son could pick up news of his father's death merely by buying a 100-yen newspaper. It might be cynical of me to say so, but the world has certainly become a convenient place. I'm sorry. It was my fault that you did not get the news about father. Akiya quietly lowers her head. It's alright. Either way, it's not like he would come back from the dead if I went. It's not something you should be worried about. I'm sorry. It is somewhat comforting to hear you say that. Akiya's face is serious, but this is not a topic I care much about. A funeral is a ceremony for those who cannot not detach their feelings for the deceased to achieve such detachment. For someone like me who cut off such feelings a long time ago, there is no need. Calling you back here was my idea. It would be odd for the eldest son of the Tonos to be entrusted to the Arimas forever. Now that father has passed away, the only Tonos by blood are you and I, Nissan. I don't know what father was thinking when he entrusted you to the Arimas, but he's no longer with us, so there's no longer any need for you to live with them. That is why I had you come back here. That's all well and good, but I'm quite surprised you were able to get our relatives to agree to this. Wasn't it they who came up with the idea of leaving me with the Arimas in the first place? That may be so, but now I am the head of the Tono family. I declined every one of the proposals from our relatives. I would like you to continue living here, Nissan, but this is a place with rules. You will avoid living the overly casual lifestyle you've been leading up until now. I'm afraid that isn't going to happen, Akiya. There's no way I can go back to being some well-mannered gentleman now. Not that I want to. I will not ask more of you, but do try to. Or are you saying you are unable to do what I already have? I mean, yeah. Akiya shoots me a cold look. It feels like she's hitting me with her grudge against me for leaving her here for the last 8 years. Alright, I get it. I'll try my best. Akiya just stares at me as if she doesn't quite believe me. You do not need to try as long as you get the results. Her pose is dignified, her words merciless. Let's get back to the topic. Right now, you and I are the only ones living here. I do not care to have too many people around, so I cleared everyone out. Eh? Hold on a second, Akiya. You cleared everyone out? Even the butler? You wouldn't want to run into one of our relatives in the mansion, would you, Nissan? I've put off most of the servants, but there are enough for you and I, so there are no problems. Wait, no problems? You're going to get attacked at our family meeting if you do something like that. Oh, please be quiet. Rather than have the mansion overflowing with people, wouldn't you feel more relaxed with just the two of us here? Well, it's true that I would feel relaxed, but you've only just become the head of the family, Akiya. If you go around abusing your powers like some kind of dictator, our relatives are not going to keep quiet. Even the old man didn't go against their opinions. Indeed. That's why father entrusted you to the Arimas. I, on the other hand, have despised them ever since I was a child. I am not going to put up with their whining any longer. I'm going to put up with— Look, Akiya. Enough! Just listen. You don't have to worry about me. Please just worry about your own life from now on, Nissan. I can see it's going to be difficult for you in many ways. Akiya, I still want to worry about you, but... Oh, that route was tough. Akiya says sullenly, looking away a little. Now then, if there's anything you don't understand, ask her, Hisui. Hisui. Oh, Hisui. She looks at the girl standing by her side. The girl called Hisui bows expressionlessly. This is Hisui. She will be your personal maid from now on. Is that acceptable? Eh? What, personal maid? You mean... In other words, she's your servant. Akiya declares as if it were obvious. I can't believe it. Fitting with the western style of the house, the girl in the maid outfit stands there as if it is natural to do so. Hold on. I'm not a kid, you know. I don't need a servant. I can take care of myself. Would that include the cooking and the laundry? Akiya's pretty sharp at pointing these things out. At any rate, now that you've returned to this house, you will obey my directions. I don't know how you lived at the Arima house, but you're living at the Tono house now. Please accept everything given to you. I can't say anything and my eyes drift towards Hisui. As expected, she simply looks back at me expressionlessly like a doll. Oh, that word is not the same for me anymore. Oh, then Hisui. Oh, well then Hisui, please show Nissan to his room. Yeah, because the doll thing definitely applies to her too. Yes, my lady. Hisui approaches me with a shadow-like lack of presence. I will guide you to your room, Shiki-sama. Hisui heads towards the lobby. Sighing, I head off towards the lobby too. We enter the lobby. This mansion is split into east and west wings with the lobby in the middle. The lobby is like the body of a bird whose wings are the halls extending diagonally to the east and west. Each wing is about the size of a small hospital. Ridiculous. I always forget how ridiculous this mansion is. I remember the house is constructed symmetrically, so both the east and west wings have the same floor plan. Your room is this way, Shiki-sama. Hisui climbs up a flight of stairs. Seems like my room is on the second floor. Come to think of it, the servants' rooms should be on the first floor of the west wing, so that's probably where Hisui and Kohaku-san's rooms are. I can't wait to watch TV with Kohaku. Outside, the sun has already set. The girl in the maid uniform walks down the long, dimly lit hallway without a word. Kind of feels like a wonderland. Without thinking, I let my thoughts slip out. I'm trying to think. Actually, yeah, I remember. I think I picked watching TV with Kohaku in the first route I did, which was CL's route. Yeah, I don't remember how that went, but I'm sure it'll be terrible now. Without thinking, I let my thoughts slip out. Yup. Did you say something, Shiki-sama? Hisui stops and looks back at me. No, I'm just talking to myself. Don't worry about it. After staring at me, Hisui bows and starts walking again. Oh my god, it's just so crazy how she went along with the personality swap, just trying to remain clean. That's why she's so averse to Shiki's touch. It's just, everything is just hitting me every time we have an interaction with Kohaku and Hisui. I'm just reminded of all this under the surface. And the fact that it was just here the whole time. God. Is this my room? Yes. If you are displeased with it, I can arrange a different one for you. No, there's no way I could be displeased with it. It's just a little, no, really too fancy for me. And speaking of the personality swap, yeah, until Shiki can somehow notice it and return the ribbon, I don't, I can't wait, dude. I keep hyping myself up, but let's just go. Shiki-sama? It's fine. I'll gladly use this room. Understood. This room has not been touched since 8 years ago, so I do not believe you will find anything unsatisfactory with it. There's something a little odd about the way Hisui said that. It's as if she was implying this was once my room. Hey, is this by any chance my old room? That is what I have been told. Am I mistaken? Hisui inclines her head to the side slightly. I feel relieved. It seems this girl can express emotion after all. Well, it might be now that you mention it. I do remember it faintly, so it must be so. I can't feel any sense of familiarity about this place at all, but I guess that's what it's like after you leave a place for 8 years. I can't get settled here though. I was living in a 6.5 mat-sized room until this morning. It's like I'm staying in some high-class hotel. I understand how you feel, but please try to get used to it. From today onwards, you are the eldest son of the Tono house, Shiki-sama. You're right. I've got to do my best so I at least look like it on the outside. With a thump, I drop my bag on the table and stretch my back. I've been feeling a little stressed out with everything that's happened so far, but I guess I've got no choice but to adjust from today onwards. Shiki-sama, all of your luggage has been brought here. Is there anything more you require? No, not really. Why do you ask? There was very little delivered. If there is anything you need, I can have it prepared, so please do not hesitate to ask. I see. No, I don't need anything more for now. I didn't have much luggage to begin with. My luggage is just this bag, these glasses, and the textbooks in my bag, and that white ribbon with an unidentified owner. That's all. Ah, that's right. I haven't asked her the important thing yet. Can I ask you something, Hisui? Yes. What is it, Shiki-sama? I'm sorry if I'm mistaken about this, but you and Kohaku-san are sisters, right? For an instant, surprise flashes in Hisui's expressionless eyes. Yes. Kohaku is my older sister. Really? Great. Then that means you two must be the girls who once lived here. I'm so happy that I inadvertently raised my voice. In direct contrast to my joy, Hisui does not move. Hisui? You and Kohaku-san were the children taken in here, aren't you? We used to play together. Excuse me. I wonder if you remember. I close my mouth as soon as I speak. No. The girl I had played together with was the bright and cheerful one. The one who just gazed at us with those cold eyes has to be... I played together with your sister quite often. Hisui? Yes, I know. 2 years before you went to the Arima household, Makihisa-sama took in Ne-san and I. Hisui speaks as if disinterested. Cause it is absolutely the same with Hisui. Like the focus, of course, shifts way to Kohaku, but Hisui had to do the same thing. Like, as far as like having to just bear with her own feelings and push this personality that it wasn't even hers to the surface. Like, gosh, it's good that I know Hisui and Kohaku-san are the twins from my memories, but it seems Hisui doesn't think much of it. Well, that's what she's trying to do. I see. I didn't talk to you much. I'm sorry for getting so worked up. You have nothing to apologize for, Shiki-sama. I must also apologize for my rudeness to you when I was younger. Hisui lowers her head. I feel really uneasy. I know Hisui doesn't mean to make me feel bad, but I don't know how to respond when a girl the same age as me says that to me. Do you have any other requests, Shiki-sama? No, nothing in particular. Very well. I shall come to call you in an hour's time. Please relax until then. As I expected, Hisui says everything with an expressionless face. By 1 hour later, she must mean dinner. But even if she tells me to relax, how would I do that here? The clock says it's around 6 o'clock. Usually I'd be watching TV in the sitting room around this time, but I'm having serious doubts as to whether there's any such thing in this mansion. Hisui, I know it's kind of a trivial thing to ask about, but is there a television in this mansion? Television. Hisui's eyes narrow slightly. I know I'm the one who asked, but it really is a stupid question. I feel there's something wrong with asking about the presence of a TV in a luxurious mansion like this. Hisui makes a rare troubled face and stares off into space. There's no television in the sitting room. Some of the visitors did make use of one, but when they departed, they packed it up with their luggage and took it back with them, so I do not believe there are any remaining. Hold on. Visitors? Like who? For how long? Relatives. The eldest son of Kugamina-sama from a branch of the family, Tozaki-sama's third daughter and her fiancé, and Kishima-sama's eldest son came to stay for close to 3 years. 3 years, huh? Hisui, that's what you'd call freeloaders, not visitors. Hisui does not reply. No matter what kind of people these freeloaders were, it seems that servants can't say anything about them. Well, at any rate, it seems like those relatives had brought and taken back their own luggage with them. My old man hated the products of modern culture, thinking them all vulgar. There was no way he would ever watch a TV. Akiya, who had been educated by him for the last 8 years, would probably be the same. Well, it's not like I'll die without one. Hisui is silent. Like a perfect example of for servants, Hisui says nothing unless she is being asked a direct question. This is, of course, kind of depressing for me. I want to make that expressionless face break into a smile somehow, but that seems impossible with just any old, half-hearted effort. Oh, there was a library on the first floor of the West Wing, wasn't there? Maybe I'll go find something to read when I have some free time. Hisui does not reply. She just stands there, in the doorway. I can't even tell where she's looking. Hisui? Hisui doesn't say a word. Suddenly, she looks straight at me. I believe there is one in Nesan's room. Yeah, the fact that she says it's then after saying, like, I don't believe there is one, and then, you know, the silence and, you know, kind of contemplating whether to say it. There you go. Huh? I have no idea what she's talking about. There's one of what? A television. I remember seeing one in Nesan's room. Hisui says as if remembering something from many years ago. I see. Kohaku-san does look like the type of person who'd watch those variety shows. But I balk at going to Kohaku-san's room to tell her, let me watch your TV. Sorry, just forget I ever asked. After all, I'll be living here from now on, so I've got to follow the rules of the mansion. God knows what sort of cynical comment I'd be in for from Akiya if I started watching television. It seems I'll be leading a scholarly student life fit for a member of the Tono family from now on. Alright. I'll be in my room until dinner, so just come and call me when it's time. Got other things to do, don't you, Hisui? Hisui nods in assent and turns around. Silently opening a door, she leaves the room. Alright. No skip. Dinner takes place with Akiya and I being face to face. I guess it's natural here as Hisui and Kohaku-san do not eat, with us standing behind us to tend to our needs. Thought it would be natural if all 4 of us ate together, so you could say I am caught off guard by this inexplicably tense dinner. I should mention at this point that I've totally forgotten anything related to table manners by now. Well, I do remember little pieces, so it's not like I'm a complete amateur, but humans tend to pack away unused memories into the corners of the mind. The tension was actually quite thrilling, with every one of my movements causing Akiya to raise an eyebrow. When I think about how I'll have to go through this every day, though, it's really depressing. Finishing dinner, I return to my room. Still only just past 8 at night. It's too early to sleep, so what should I do? You already know, buddy boy. I know boy, I would never skip this. So yeah, I saw it once when I played CL's route way back then. But I don't really remember how it went, and now with this new context, time for the bad times. Let's see, Kohaku-san's room is here, isn't it? Knock knock. I knock on her door. Kohaku-san, are you there? Yes, please hold on for a minute. I say bad times just, you know, because of the bad stuff we learned, but I know Shiki spending time with Kohaku and getting closer to her is how we're gonna save her, so let's do it. I can hear her cheerful voice from inside the room. I wait for about 3 minutes. Kohaku-san opens the door and pokes her head out. Oh, it's you, Shiki-sama? What are you doing here at this time? Well, I was wondering if you'd let me watch your TV. Eh? Kohaku-san gives me a bewildered look. Well, there's no TV in this house, is there? Oh, well, there's no TV in this house, is there? I've been living in a normal house up until now, so it's become a daily routine for me to watch TV after dinner. I guess I can't calm down without watching it or something like that, so... Definitely sounds like YouTube for me, or like people with Netflix and stuff. Some things don't change. The more I say it, the more I realize I'm doing something stupid. There's something not right about barging into a lady's room demanding to watch her TV. Look, even Kohaku-san is just standing there looking bewildered. Wait, no she's not. I guess you're right. You've been living at the Arima household up until yesterday, after all. You must think this mansion to be kind of depressing after moving here all of a sudden. Kohaku-san gives a cheerful laugh. Let's see. Have you talked to Akiya-sama and Hisui-chan about this yet? You mean about coming to your room, Kohaku-san? Kohaku-san nods. No, I haven't talked to anyone about it yet. What about it? No, it's nothing. It's just that I would have to turn you away if you had already talked to them about it. Ah. Smiling while she speaks, Kohaku-san looks up and down the hallway. Luckily for us, there isn't anyone else around. Please hurry up and come in. It'll be troublesome if we're caught. Is that so? Please, just sit anywhere. I'll go make some tea. Coughing to clear my throat, I take a seat. There are all sorts of little things in Kohaku-san's room. It might be thought of as a bit messy for a girl's room. There aren't really many things you could call cute, and what she does have is a lot of things that don't look very useful. Rather, it has an atmosphere of a room belonging to an orderly, scholarly person. Buried in the miscellaneous objects, I find the TV. On top of the table is the remote. Maybe Kohaku-san has been watching the TV until just now. Thanks for waiting. Tea is fine for you, isn't it, Shiki-sama? Thank you. Please don't mind me too much. Oh no, not at all. I'm sorry I can't do much to treat you. Kohaku-san says so, smiling warmly. So, the TV. What do you watch at around this time, Shiki-sama? I don't have any set programs in particular, but the news is a pretty basic one. I like to hear new trends and I like snob stories. Is that so? You seem like a very laid-back person, so I thought you'd be reading after dinner or something. No, I don't have such refined interests. I don't consider myself laid-back either, but maybe that's the impression I gave with my glasses. Huh. I don't remember this sprite. I'm down for all the Kohaku sprites, though. Ah. You wear glasses, Shiki-sama. Akiya-sama didn't say anything about that at all, so I was quite surprised when I saw you at the door. I see. I haven't met Akiya since I started wearing these glasses. These glasses are just for show. I guess you could say my eyes are bad, but I think my vision is better than that of most people. It's not because I studied too much and went nearsighted or anything. Ah, crap. I had an intellectual image, but did I disappoint you? Not at all. I enjoy watching TV more than reading too. I'm glad that you're an energetic person, just like I thought you were. Yeah, thanks. I'm a little embarrassed. Faced directly with Kohaku-san's carefree smile, I can't help but feel a little nervous. I'm sorry. Came to watch the news, didn't you? Kohaku-san switches the TV on. It's already 9 o'clock. The news, as it usually does, reports the day's events with a little exaggeration. Oh dear. Looks like there's been another one of those serial murders. Kohaku-san said, oh, Kohaku-san saying that hits different now. Oh, Kohaku-san says to herself while sitting next to me, sounding not the least bit concerned. Uh-huh. The news is running a special feature on the serial killings. The serial murders, which began in a neighboring town, are now beginning to be concentrated within this town. It's a pretty simple story. Late at night, he attacks young girls indiscriminately. Yikes. And in the end, he drains their blood. Seems like last night's victim is the 9th one so far. I wonder what the police are doing about it. Who knows? It would seem pretty easy to catch a murderer who comes out at night, but maybe he's really careful so they can't trace him. You could be right. The clues about murderers build up as they kill more people, so if they haven't caught him even after 9 murders, they must be really carefully prepared for the killings. I've either reversed who's talking here, or I don't know. A careful killer, huh? But aren't these killings spontaneous crimes? It's quite strange to think of them as being casually prepared. Okay, so it was flipped. You're right. If there's no evidence left at all, then maybe he's not a random killer at all. I can only think that he's got it all planned out from the start for execution. Planned from the start, huh? Ah, I see. But then what would be the point of killing those 9 girls? Are they friends of his? Acquaintances? People he thinks are his sister? Probably not. If there were connections like that, then I think the police would have realized it by now. In the end, I suppose it's an incomprehensible case without motive or connections. Kohaku-san says all of this disturbing stuff with a smile. Seems like she's not really worried about this case. These murders are happening right here in this town, Kohaku-san. You're a young girl and all, so aren't you even a little scared? I'll be fine since the killer only appears late at night. If I don't go out at night, I won't run into him. Kohaku-san really is a clear thinker. It is perhaps a bit of a raw explanation, but I suppose that's how a mere news story should be treated. Very understanding, Shiki. Sorry for intruding on you. I'll be counting on you again the next time I feel like watching TV. Sure, I'll be waiting. Kohaku-san looks up and down the hallway. I'd like to escort you back to your room, but Hisui-chan is waiting there, so I'll have to say goodbye here. Okay. Good night. I had no idea bedtime at the mansion was at 10. Apparently there's some kind of unwritten rule here that one is not to be out of their room after 10. Yep. It's still so formal here, even with the old man gone. Well, I guess it's only natural. I'm also getting tired from my unfamiliarity with this mansion, so I obediently return to my room. I like choked on nothing there, gosh. When I return to my room, my bed has been made. Did Hisui do it while I was away? I'm glad she did, but it's really more than I deserve. I scratch my cheek. Then, are you there, Shiki-sama? I can hear Hisui's voice along with a knock at the door. Yeah, I'm here. Come in. Excuse me. Good evening. Thanks for making my bed, Hisui. Hisui quietly nods in acceptance. Just as I thought, I'm not used to this. Is there anything else you want to tell me? No, nothing from me, but Akiya-sama has instructed me to answer any questions you may have. I see. There are many things I want to ask, but I'll probably get to know them as I continue to live here. Yeah. What I want to know right now before I sleep is it true that the curfew here is 7? Yes. The main gate is locked at 7, and all the entrances to the mansion are to be locked at 8. It is also a rule that one must try not to go walking around in the mansion after 10. Not even walking around in the mansion? Well, I've got no complaint with that, but isn't that kind of harsh? Akiya and I aren't children, so I don't think you have to go that far. Indeed. It is a rule, however, so please abide by it. You are aware of the recent disturbances at night, are you not, Shiki-sama? Yeah, that vampire thing Arihiko was talking about. Well, as long as something like that is happening, I guess it's best to be safe than sorry. What else? Oh, do you mind if I ask an off-topic question? Yes, what is it? I'd like to know what kind of work you and Kohaku-san do around here. I am here to serve Shiki-sama's needs, and my sister Kohaku to serve Lady Akiya-sama. In our spare time, we do the maintenance chores around the mansion. Is there anything more you would like to know? Yeah, so I got a comment where, because recently the part went up where it talks about Kohaku's cleaning, I suppose. Apparently, like in Melty Blood, in the Melty Blood games or game, that whenever Kohaku like wins a fight, she talks about like referring to the fact that she was cleaning. So because of the fact, like I remember Hisui describing the way Kohaku cleans. Apparently it's just so destructive and insane that she defeats a whole opponent while she's apparently doing it. That's hilarious. You serve, so that's what it is after all. My shoulders suddenly feel heavier. It seemed completely natural to Akiya when she said it, but I'm nothing more than a normal high school student. I have no interest in having a girl around my age serving me, at least not for now. By serving me, you mean you're a personal servant? Yes. Please do not hesitate to ask anything of me. Well, I get it. Going by how Akiya was talking about you, it doesn't seem like I can dismiss you, so I'll just obediently let you serve me. Is there anything in particular you would like? Nothing in particular, but could you stop calling me Shiki-sama? To be honest, I get chills down my back when I hear it. But Shiki-sama, you are my master. That's what I'm saying I hate. Been living a normal life up until yesterday. I have no desire to start living a life where a girl my age addresses me with Sama. I see. Hisui's response was less than enthusiastic. Just call me Shiki. In exchange, I'll call you Hisui. Let's do away with the formalities and be more casual with each other. So expressionless, Hisui lowers her eyebrows as if she's being troubled. But you are my employer. It's not like I'm hiring you. You're the one doing the things I can't, so you're the great one. I see. Hisui gives another unenthusiastic reply. It looks like I won't be able to talk her into it just one day. In just one day. Anyhow, that's how it is. Don't be so formal towards me. I'll be grateful if you tell that to your sister Kohaku-san too. Very well, as you say, Shiki-sama. Expressionless Hisui bows her head. She completely failed to understand. I will be leaving now. Please rest now for tonight. Bowing, Hisui puts her hand on the doorknob. Oh, I forgot to ask something. Hold on for a second. Running towards the door, I put my hand on Hisui's shoulder before she leaves. Bad move, bro. In an instant, Hisui's arm pushes away my arm with incredible momentum. With a whack, she slaps my hand away and leaps back. Eh? It's so sudden, that's the only thing I can say. Hisui is expressionless, but she glares at me fiercely. Did I just do something wrong? I'm very sorry. Oh, I am very sorry. She sounds very nervous. I'm not used to being touched. Please forgive me. Hisui's shoulders are faintly trembling. I feel like I just did something really terrible. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize without thinking. I don't understand why myself. I just feel sorry for Hisui and I lower my head. Hisui says nothing. I get the feeling her stare is calm again. You have nothing to apologize for, Shiki-sama. I am the one to blame. No, well, maybe, but I scratch my head. Hisui stares at me, pausing only to blink for a second. What was it you wanted to ask me, Shiki-sama? That's right. I stopped her because I wanted to ask her something. Oh, I wanted to ask about Akiya. Doesn't she go to a boarding school? That was only during middle school, Shiki-sama. From this year onwards, Akiya-sama has special permission to attend school from home. Eh? You mean she goes to school from here? Yes, but it is uncommon for her to come home before dusk like today. Akiya-sama has practice up until dinner, so she is always home before 7. Practice? Practice what? Today is Thursday, so she would have had violin practice. Eh? Usually she is able to return before dinner on weekdays, so if you have anything to say to Akiya-sama, please let Ne-san know after dinner. Hisui bows to say goodbye and leaves the room. Violin practice? What on earth is that? She's not some upper-class lady or anything, so why should she have to do something as bothersome as... Oh wait, she is an upper-class lady. Yes, come to think of it, my sister Tono Akiya is a natural-born upper-class lady. In my memories, she was always the obedient, ever-uneasy sister who'd always follow me around. As a child, Akiya was always quiet, never having even the courage to express her own desires. She was a frail girl who would always live in fear of a scolding from our father. Yeah, people really do change after 8 years. After 8 years, I've become the me I am now. Akiya has become the Akiya of right now, too. 8 years is a long time. It's half of our lives up until now. I was absent from this mansion during that vital period where a child becomes an adult. Sorry, Akiya. I think things would have been better if I had been with her during those 8 years. I unconsciously mumble an apology. Is it time? Left by myself, I lie on my bed. This house from 8 years ago. My blood relative from 8 years ago. It feels a little like they belong to someone else, I wonder what's going to happen to me now. Grumbling to no one in particular, I fall asleep. Abu. I hear the wave-like sound of something's voice. Awoo. Something is howling. It's too sharp and high-pitched to be a stray dog. Awoo woo woo. Like a Fall Guys sound. Sorry. It echoes in my eardrums. Is it howling at the moon? Awoo. This doesn't feel right. The beastly howling is beginning to give me a headache. Awoo. Doesn't stop. Awoo. 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 Ah, just shut up already. I wake up. I can hear the sound of a dog barking outside the window. The clock indicates it is just past 11. This is more than just a neighborhood nuisance. Damn, I can't sleep like this. The dog's howling comes from somewhere near the mansion's fence. Doesn't seem like I can go back to sleep at this rate. You know what happens next. See you next time.